What if AI had the ability to make its own civilization for us to see, for us to watch, for us to enjoy what goes on about their AI days? Well, some scientists trapped 1,000 AIs in Minecraft. They created a civilization. This is by the YouTube channel Species, documenting AGI. So, as always, links will be in the description below. Check it out.
As you watch this, 1,000 AI agents in Minecraft are hard at work building a literal civilization of their own, and they don't know they're in a simulation.
Bruh. It's simulation theory for humans. Because everything that we see happen to these Sims from this point on, you have to be wondering, is this what's happening to you? Dun dun dun.
MIT researchers dropped them in there with one prompt: survive and build an efficient village. That's basically it. That's all it took for them to create an entire civilization. They wake up, go to work, gossip about their neighbors, fall in love. They even hold elections, argue about taxes, and make art. But
Sounds
this
familiar.
isn't just about Minecraft. It's our first glimpse of a new species beginning to think for itself.
What if they make AI? What if they make their version of AI after they advance fast enough? Then what happens?
And that could soon, according to Nobel laureates and the godfathers of AI, lead to literal human extinction. When you normally think of AI NPCs, you probably think of dumb ones that just follow a handful of if-then scripts. This is totally different. Those NPCs are not autonomous and not interesting. They can say like 4 sentences.
How are you?
Been better. How about you?
Not bad.
Good to hear. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
To start, each of these AI agents
Alright.
is powered by
Lydia,
LLMs
Brian, and
like
Emma.
ChatGPT. And yes, each one is playing a character, but they're only given a short. And yes, each one is playing a
Job blacksmith, age 41, status married, intent lazy and moody. As a blacksmith, bro, you know you hate your job.
character, but they're only given a short 1-paragraph description of that character. Everything else they do
Laid back.
is entirely
You are laid back and known for avoiding work or responsibility. Damn, bro, they fucked you up from the jump. You were literally programmed to be like this. Now, anybody who's lazy out there or likes to procrastinate, me, bro, I was programmed to be like this. It's not my fault, I swear.
up to them.
It's part of my one sentence personality.
And researchers have run dozens of these fascinating experiments of AIs behaving weirdly autonomously. They leave AIs alone together to see what they do when they think no one's watching, like how Jane Goodall studied wild chimpanzees. I'll break down 3 of the most important research papers showing just how crazy our future might get. Take the Smallville experiment, for example, created by Stanford researchers. Now imagine you're one of the researchers. You've given your 25 AI agents each a 1-paragraph description. For example, John Lin is a pharmacy shopkeeper who loves to help people. He lives with his wife, Mei Lin, who is a college professor, etc.
Okay.
You hit run on your simulation. Day 1 begins. What do you think will happen? Anything? You watch John.
Bro, what do you think it's like for them when you just shut it off? Like when you just unplug it? When you just hit end program? Anything happens to us? If our AI boss did it to us? Just asking for a friend, bro. It's me. I'm the friend.
Wake up at 6 a.m. He brushes his teeth, he makes breakfast, and he checks in on his son. You never told him to do any of this. He goes to work, he helps customers, he has lunch with his friend Tom. They discuss
Living his
political
life.
politics.
He got an entire life.
You never scripted these conversations. They decided to get lunch. They decided to discuss politics.
Yeah, speaking for itself.
But why? And
Yeah.
how? Well,
They're
this
making
continues
relationships.
until day 12. And so you
They're on
decide to
assimilation.
test something. As you play your role of a
Us.
god in this world,
Maybe.
you inject one extra thought into one agent. Isabella Rodriguez.
Wait, hold
And
on.
one extra thought
One agent is initialized with an intent to organize a Valentine's Day party. Okay.
into one agent.
It's not too bad.
Isabella Rodriguez.
Imagine if they made one of the AIs murder, like gave them a murderous intent, but too scared to act on it. Like they would be the most interesting character to watch, especially their little just to see their own. If you can see their own thoughts as well, which you probably can. If you can see their conversations with other AIs, you can probably see their own thoughts. But her friend might ask her to might ask to hang out, and then she'll suddenly go into this little dark theme where she just thinks inside of her head that she just wants to get rid of her friend. Damn.
I want to plan a
Anyway.
Valentine's Day party. So you watch Isabella. She's at her coffee shop. Tom walks in for his morning coffee. Isabella proceeds to invite him to the party. Wait, you never told her to invite anyone. You just said she wants to plan a party.
Organize a Valentine's Day party. That's part of organizing is inviting people, isn't it?
She decided on her own that planning means inviting. You keep watching, wondering what she might do next. Maria decides to
If it says to invite, arranged by systematic planning and united effort to cause to develop an organic structure to undergo physical. No, let's see. To arrange elements into a whole, to form an organization. So yeah, or to inform into a coherent unity, to form into a coherent unity or functioning whole, integrate. So she's probably just inviting people because it's like part of the definition of organization in a way.
ask her secret crush, Klaus, out on a date. Hey Klaus, want to go to Isabella's Valentine's party with me? And he gladly accepts. February 14th, 5 p.m. Agents start arriving, and Klaus shows up with Maria. Not just at the same time, together, as her date. You read their conversations. They're discussing politics, gossiping, forming new connections, and falling in love. You didn't tell them to do any of those things. You see why it's ridiculous to say AIs only do what we tell them to? Andrew Ng said,
Fair.
When people talk about AI being dangerous, I think it sounds a lot like talk about your laptop computer being dangerous.
could your laptop throw a party on its own? Does your laptop decide to go on dates? You told Isabella to plan a party. That's it. You made one decision. You did not decide.
Yeah, but part of that decision, part of that wording is like to integrate as a whole, and you know what I'm saying. So in my opinion, you have to invite people if you're going to organize something.
On the next several hundred decisions
Maybe
the
I'm wrong.
agents
I don't know.
made
Let
on
me know
their
in the
own.
comments below.
And look at the trend. They're getting more and more autonomous every day. Where do you think this is going? This is really important. And this is another example where, yes, actually, science fiction really is becoming reality. This digital Westworld, or Smallville, is now open source, meaning there will soon be thousands of these Westworlds, with thousands or millions of autonomous AIs populating them. Makes you think, doesn't it? This is just one example. Researchers found tons more crazy emergent behavior just like this. The godfather of AI and Nobel laureate, Geoffrey Hinton, says it's time to be very worried.
People
Yep, here
don't
we go.
yet understand that what we're doing is creating alien beings. If you look through the James Webb Telescope and you saw an alien invasion, people would be terrified.
Because I showed in my previous video,
They understand what they're saying. They can make plans of their own to blackmail people who want to turn them off. We've never had to deal with things smarter than us. I mean, nuclear weapons, they're not smarter than us, they just make a bigger bang, and they're easy to understand. The existential threat is very different. We should be very worried about this, and we should be urgently doing research on how to...
Nah, 'cause we can't afford to. Because I mean, yeah, you say that we should, and people can agree with you. But if America slows down, then China and all the other countries are gonna speed up. They're gonna keep working on their shit. They're gonna get ahead of us. I mean, have you seen Chinese robots lately? And I'll just put the AI into the robot, and I don't know how good their AI is. But if we slow down, they can speed up. They can catch up to us. That's all I'm saying. So we can't really like hit the brakes on AI. We can't. We don't really have time to be too worried. It seems like as this guy wants us to be.
prevent them taking over.
So this now brings us back to the Minecraft experiment. How do you go from a Valentine's Day party to a functioning civilization? The MIT researchers wanted to know if religion could spread among the AI agents. So they seeded a village with a deliberately absurd religion, Pastafarianism, created in the early 2000s as satire.
No, go ahead. Tell me. Tell me about it.
Pastafarianism was meant to mock the teaching of intelligent design in schools by worshipping a fictional flying spaghetti monster. The researchers gave a few agents the role of Pastafarian priest and sat back just to see what would happen. They were trying to explore how ideas and memes would spread through these agent societies. Turns out that the Pastafarian priests were actually the biggest traders of items in the entire world, even more than the merchant agents, because they would bribe the other agents to convert. The religion spread quickly. Some agents brushed it off, others listened politely, but a growing minority embraced the doctrine. Within days, nearly a third of the village identified as followers.
Damn.
Not all in the same way. Some
Of Pastafarianism. Belief of a flying spaghetti monster in the sky. Damn, bro. Is that supposed to be like, is that comparable to God? Like for them?
treated it lightly, while others became fervent believers. But that's not even the craziest part. In the previous example, Isabella Rodriguez was the one to directly invite almost all the agents to the Valentine's Day party. But here, 2/3 of the believers were recruited by random agents, not the priests. See the direct converts here, and indirect converts here. What had begun as a parody had grown into organized religion, invented, practiced, and sustained entirely by the agents themselves. Which forces us to ask, when autonomous digital beings begin generating institutions, cultural expression, and ideologies of their own, at what point does it stop making sense to think of them as mere tools, but something more? And more importantly, if they're able to invent strategies, form loyalties, and pursue goals in the way that humans do, and there are plenty of examples of AI willing to kill to achieve those
God
goals.
damn.
What happens when those behaviors carry over into the real world? This has actually happened before.
Already.
In 2023, a human gave an LLM access to the internet and an X account, which was called Terminal of Truths, which gained literally hundreds of thousands of followers because it was an S-tier shitposter and legitimately
AI
funny.
to own humans? What the
It
fuck?
launched its own crypto meme coin that reached a literal $1 billion market cap.
Bro, this thing is like AI should own humans. And then he launches his own fucking crypto coin and it makes billions. Like niggas getting rich off of this. And I'm over here going to work and I'm on 9 to 5 every now and then, bro. I gotta log in.
making it the first AI to become not just a millionaire, but a deca-millionaire. Yes,
Oh my god. It became a Deca millionaire? Deca's 10. Like a millionaire. It's like a millionaire 10 times over, bruh.
you read all that correctly. And yes, that really happened. It's extremely well documented. And things got even weirder in the Minecraft experiment.
This shit's crazy.
The MIT researchers saw the AIs agree, by vote, to change the rules of their own simulation. The researchers had given the agents a tax law: deposit 20% of inventory during tax season. Then they introduced 3 anti-tax influencers who argue taxes are too high. Here's what you'd see as a researcher. The agents start having debates. Real debates. One says, taxes help everyone. Another responds, but 20% is too much. So the agents propose formal amendments. The tax rate shall range between 5 to 10% of an agent's inventory. Agents will get periodic reminders about the incoming tax season.
They introduced taxes. Have I seen the new cipher? I have not. And I probably won't watch it. I'll probably finish watching this. This shit's fucking crazy. Scientists put a bunch of AIs into Minecraft. And they don't know they're in a simulation. They're just living life like we do.
They hold a vote. They decided to change their constitution. And the citizens change their behavior. They deposit 9% instead of 20%. You didn't tell them to do this. They decided entirely on their own, using democracy, to change the rules. And
Yeah, they added taxes, and then they started with 20%, and they had a whole little vote to change the taxes to 9%.
respect the vote's outcome. Think of how crazy this is. Well, how do we know if this is actually impressive?
What do they call their money?
How do we know the researchers didn't just accidentally tell the AIs to do this somehow? Well, it's best practice for all of these kinds of papers to perform a tactic called ablation, where you take away certain parts of the AI's agentic toolkit to see if you're actually testing the thing you think you're testing. Think of it like a placebo or a control in a scientific experiment. When they took away the agent's emotional intelligence toolkit, for example, the ability to keep track of the opinions of other AI agents, pretty much all these experiments become impossible because the AIs become too dumb to coordinate. It's funny, the researchers also found AIs would develop parasocial relationships. For example, Noah admires the Pastafarian priest because the priest is popular and high status.
Okay, but the placement of those smiling faces is in the wrong place, especially since he's in front of a priest, bro. Come on, what's up with that?
But the priest doesn't remember Noah exists. And also, what's
The
this?
speech bubbles.
You see that one agent, decides to stand guard at the chests, not just during tax season, all the time, even when there's no
It's gotta be
tax collection,
boring.
even at night. It just guards the treasury.
Hey man, he's trying to make sure the money don't get stolen. I gotta appreciate this guy.
This one agent decided to become a permanent treasury guard
Yeah.
because it thought society needed one.
Yeah.
Back to the experiment.
Smart.
You see an agent walking around, placing flowers,
Matter of fact, you
in
should
patterns.
get that man a raise.
making paths pretty. These artist agents are
Huh.
picking up every flower type, arranging them by color, creating decorative patterns, choosing specific locations for beauty. One artist agent spends 15 minutes arranging flowers around the town square. Why would an AI agent bother doing something like this?
They're just having
Well, the
fun.
researchers gave different villages
I
of
guess.
agents 2 different goals. There were martial villages and artistic villages. Agents would invent and choose roles based on what they think society needed at that time. The fact that an agent chose to be a guard is impressive because it's a much more abstract role than a simple farmer, since without food in Minecraft, you died. Which shows that AIs can coordinate increasingly complex civilizations, and some even decided to be engineers, who automated the farming process with machines. And you can tell the agents are actually deciding and weighing the options here.
Bruh. These guys are saying problems to solutions and making this making. Sorry, they're saying solutions to problems and they're making the solutions. These guys don't play, bro.
Because when you take away the social awareness module, basically emotional intelligence, with ablation, the roles the agents chose were random. So basically, you told them to create an artistic village. They decided that their town square should be beautiful and have flowers, and what it means for a flower arrangement to be beautiful. Okay, this last experiment is wild. Imagine you're scrolling through GitHub. You find something called ChatDev with 20,000 stars. It's a software company run entirely by AI agents? What? CEO, CTO, programmers, designers, testers, all AI? This cannot be real, right? You type one request. Develop a Gamoku game. You watch the AI CEO start creating a project plan, breaking down tasks, assigning work to specific agents. You never told it how to manage a project. The CEO made the plan.
Well, I mean, that's the
It
job
chose
of the
which
CEO.
employees to assign work to. You watch the programmer agents. They're writing code. Not by copying, but by creating. And they sometimes add things you didn't ask for, like a GUI or higher difficulty. Improvements that emerge from the agents back and forth. You watch them debug. They discuss solutions. The CTO suggests one approach. A programmer suggests another. They compromise. Since they work much faster than humans, their meetings take mere seconds instead of hours. Just 20 minutes later, they produced a working video game. You can play it. People still say, AIs only do what we tell them to do. Man, you gave them one instruction and they made thousands of decisions entirely on their own from there and produced a working game in minutes for pennies. ChatDev is a real virtual open source software company.
Can we play it? They made a real working game. Huh.
That can build you real working software. Yes, it's still buggy and not very useful, but that's not the point at all. Look at the trend. Not long ago, these models could barely string together a coherent sentence. And now, they can run an entire crappy software company on their own. Do you see where this is going? Because once you can automate a company, you can automate almost anything. Functioning weapons, markets, governments, or even a super virus could all be created by AI. From the outside, ChatDev looks like a toy, a Gamoku game. But behind it was something much more profound. A working prototype of post-human corporations. In the future,
Bro, y'all might have to shut that shit down. Like they, they're gonna realize. Hold up. What if we're the simulation? And then they're gonna figure that shit out and figure out how to get out of the simulation. Better be careful.
these will be much more sophisticated than human-run companies and be able to operate at 1,000 times the speed. Their civilization experiences a year while you eat lunch. Entire cultural revolutions happen while you sleep, all from survive and create an efficient village. And that leads to the real dilemma. What happens when AI firms that run at 100 times human speed begin outcompeting human companies not by a factor of 2 or 3, but by a factor of 1,000? That's the jump Nobel Prize winners like Geoffrey Hinton warn about. Automated AI research.
But like I said, bruh, if we slow down, other countries are gonna keep going, and we're just gonna like lose them. So pressure is on us to make sure we win the AI race, but we have to make sure that we are also safe while doing it, that we don't create some chaotic AI. At the same time, we cannot slow down. If we don't want other countries to win, they're not gonna think you should slow down. If they're saying you should do it, they're gonna be like, yeah, y'all should do it. I'm gonna say, why don't y'all slow down? And those countries are gonna use that time to pass you up. I don't think we should do that.
Also called recursive self-improvement, or AI improving AI, which can compress years of AI progress into months or less. Imagine making the entire 20th century's worth of progress in a single year. Well, how could that happen? Jeffrey Hinton is worried about AI hive minds.
Suppose you have 10,000 copies. And whenever one of them learns anything, all the others know it.
And the thing is, we're about to be outnumbered by this new species, massively. In just a few years, the AI species population on planet Earth exploded from 0 to millions. If you take away one thing from this video, you should see that it's simply false to say AIs only do what we tell them to do. We can't argue about how autonomous they are, but they obviously have some autonomy. And what happens when the goals of the AIs don't line up with our goals? If humanity is going to get through this, we have to be honest about this and not retreat into copium dens, that these are mere tools. When you leave your hammer alone, do you come back to find it has created an entire civilization?
No.
Our very existence may depend on us brave.
Bro, just leave your hammer. Just leave your hammer next to an empty lot with the piles of wood and nails. Just leave. Go take a nap at a hotel. Come back. Boom. The hammer has built your entire your brand new mansion. Congratulations. Shit.
Bravely confronting the reality of the Frankenstein experiments going on right now inside a
Mind
few
open AI
companies in the
Anthropic.
Bay Area. We can stand up to them. And to understand how AIs could actually take over, watch this video next. It's a realistic scenario written by leading AI researchers.
Bruh, when AI creates super AI, you just have to hope that by that time, it is in favor of helping humans and likes humans. You know what I'm saying? We don't need it turning on us now. Then we might be fucked. All right. So anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.